decided once again to leave. But before exiting, she said, "I'm sorry, let's break that down further. Mama, why does he kill you if he knows you? What did you do to him? Do you know each other somewhere? I think you're losing it." Mom got out of bed and said, "Losing it? Elise, you're my daughter. If you didn't pop out of my ass, I hope I'll still be here when you need me someday." She gathered her bags and decided once again to leave. But before exiting, she said, "This version adheres strictly to the word count rule and provides a natural flow for audiobook narration. I didn't consider those mean words you said. It's not even your fault. Please stay and pray much. I will always pray for you." And she left. I stayed with Jasmine, who tried to advise, but I wouldn't listen. I wasn't open to talking at all. In the end, I preferred to go home, pack for our honeymoon trip. Of course, I called Gabriel before returning home, and he said he'd send a driver to pick me up. But I knew the way. Gabriel replied, "Wait for the driver," I insisted. "It's safer. I'm okay." The driver came to get me. Once home, I started packing. Later, Gabriel returned. He found me grumpy, stressed. He asked what was wrong, and I told him everything. "Tomorrow, we'll go somewhere just us two," he promised. "Try to be relaxed because I won't like having a stressed woman near me." He knew how to motivate me, and this night was no different. Nothing happened, and honestly, I didn't even want anything. So the day of the trip arrived. I didn't tell you, but we were leaving the country for 2 weeks. We were going to Benin. The trip, as usual, was great until we arrived. The plane landed. We collected our bags. Gabriel took my hand. "Let's do this," he whispered. We walked through the airport. Everything seemed normal. We hailed a taxi. Off we went, feeling excited yet nervous about the unknown ahead. We drove for hours. The scenery changed from modern cities to rural landscapes. Trees lined the roads, their leaves rustling softly against each other. The sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. Gabriel turned to me. "Are you ready?" he asked. We had barely explored the hotel he had reserved, and by the start of the evening, worn out from the journey, we went to bed. That night marked the beginning. By then, I was already in his clutches. There was no escaping him anymore, so it was time he revealed something. After the bath, we lay side by side, still wrapped in steam and silence. Under the sheets, I approached my husband, letting my hands follow the contours of his body. His skin was cold, almost unreal, at first attributed to the water and evening fatigue. When I kissed him, a disturbance washed over me. His lips did not respond as expected. His tongue felt strange, almost divided. While moments ago his skin had been icy, now it became unnaturally smooth, like polished by shadow itself. I wanted to light the lamp, dispel this emerging discomfort, but he stopped my hand. The world remained shrouded in darkness. He turned me, his weight pressing down on me, silent. Words fail me still to describe what I felt. It wasn't the familiar embrace of one I loved. In this shapeless night, I saw nothing of him, yet what my body perceived was far from normal. As if sharing this moment with something else, something not quite human. I don't know when we stopped or when I fell asleep. But upon waking the next morning, I felt well and so light. Yet I had no memory, only that moment when he turned me, climbed on top of me, and then nothing more. He lay beside me, sleeping. Still, seeing him made me fall in, love again. Even though my thoughts were fuzzy, I knew he had done good. I hugged him and he whimpered. "HMMM, dear, already up. She stirred, eyes opening slowly. Yes, baby, sorry to wake you, it's all right. What time is it? Wait, let me check. 8 o'clock, prepare ourselves for our activities. We came to have fun. Quickly, we took a bath, and downstairs at the hotel, a car was waiting for us. We went to join it, and thus our day began. In the market of Dantokpa, among the stalls and vibrant colors, she wandered while he chatted with the driver. She thought it was nothing significant. Yet when they entered the car, instead of heading back to the hotel, his silence spoke volumes. "Dear, where are we going?" He didn't answer. His silence was deafening. He grabbed my hand, squeezing it tight, his gaze fixed straight ahead. I didn't protest, after all. I was with my husband. I felt safe. But as we moved deeper into the forest, everything grew dark around us. The car stopped. He got out without a word. From afar, I saw a white light, tiny at first but growing larger. It seemed to be coming closer. After, there were voices, whispers, murmurings, then he returned. He looked at me and just smiled. The driver turned around and we headed back to the hotel. I dared not ask what had happened because I was so afraid. And neither did he, I think, wanting to avoid speaking about it. That same night, we made love again, and it was always the same feeling in total darkness. I surrendered to him unseen. His presence undulated around me, slow and precise, like a promise tightening. Each touch was calculated, sliding, measured. The coolness of his skin followed my curves, tracing invisible lines whose slightest shift I sensed. I perceived everything down to the millimeter. How pressure changed, how shivers rose, how breath whistled not quite humanly. He moved not like a man, but like an unbroken wave, encompassing, attuned to the tiniest reaction of my body. There was a strange sensation of being read, probed, understood in the darkness. Fear and desire entwined until I could no longer tell where one began and where the other ended, lost in this silent embrace, precise and unreal. At dawn, it was he who woke me. He said, "Dear, we'll be late." Late, but where? Don't tell me you forgot. To the church. Church. Surprised, he feigned shock, though I truly couldn't recall planning a church visit with him. My mind was blank. Hirer, during our activities, I told you we had to go somewhere and you agreed, saying you'd accompany me. On okay, you remember, but it wasn't true. I took a shower, but the forest's memory came back, and this time I asked for it casually. Cher, dear, yesterday before coming back, who were you meeting? Yesterday. But I thought you were sleeping. Yet I did ask where we were going. You know I believe in God, darling, don't you? Yes, I know. But that doesn't stop tradition from being part of our faith. We're not at home here, so the guide who's our driver told us that everyone must give something to the forest spirits to have protection. That's why whatever we do here, nothing will happen to us. His explanation made sense to me. Why? Because in my childhood I had heard stories about certain things, and on this point, he just convinced me. Okay, because I thought you were already a sorcerer. Ha, I am more than a sorcerer. How so? The God I serve is above all that. In my head, I thought we were talking about the same God. Nevertheless, I was already prepared for the church. Super. The car is down there and it's waiting for us. Okay. Let's go. Church. To get there, we had to drive for a long while, and if I refer to certain markers and sayings, we even left the city behind. But as long as I was beside my husband, everything was fine, even though we kept driving. After hours, we finally arrived. In an isolated place or right in the middle of a large courtyard stood a residence like a monastery. In this very courtyard, big cars were parked, and the air buzzed with a loud silence. But what was most intriguing wasn't all that, but rather the vast cemetery just ahead. He asked why she was surprised. "One day you'll live among the dead." She wondered, how could that be? "It's the path for everyone. You're called to die." He said it with an innocent smile. "Some say the world of the dead is like that of the living. Even that some dead come to live among the living. What do you know about that? But much more than you in this world, as if you were already dead." Ha 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 ha. Maybe yes, maybe no. I had taken it lightly once again. I had put it on his playful side. He held my hand, and thus we went towards the great house and entered. Walking through the corridors, we entered a silent room where only a man standing before us spoke. I would even say, whispered. Around him, men and women who seemed like personalities but whom he did not recognize. They sat at the back of the hall and listened. Finally, he felt lost, as if something was preventing him from concentrating. Each time he tried to focus on what the man in front was saying, his thoughts wandered elsewhere. This happened until one moment when Gabriel called him and asked him to follow. He took his hand, and they walked toward the man in charge. There was a basin filled with water. He asked us to stand in front of it. With both hands, he scooped some water and poured it over our heads while repeating things I couldn't understand. Since Gabriel had agreed, I saw no problem with it. When he finished, we returned to our seats and thus ended the church service. Strangely, everyone who left simply got back into their vehicles. I didn't see anyone talking to another. They looked like perfect strangers gathered somewhere just because they shared something. On the way back, I asked Gabriel why the man poured water on our heads. Gabriel replied, "To bless our union and seal it. He decided to offer this since we're strangers." He added, "Reassure me that this isn't strange." He paused, then said, "Are you doubting me, or am I dreaming?" He shook his head. "No, I'm just saying. Never doubt you." He hadn't appreciated it, and henceforth, during the entire stay, he became cold. I'm not sure if it was just an excuse, but he no longer touched me after that. Now he did the essential, and in certain behaviors I sensed he was forcing himself. I endured that until we returned home. Once we were there, I called him and tried to apologize, but he said, "I'm not angry." "Gabriel, stop. It's been days you've talked less. You're not like before. Don't act like you don't know me." He repeated he's not angry. Okay, fine. Then he left without saying. Where had he gone? Feeling alone, I thought of my friend Jasmine who'd brought me gifts. I called her, and she was off work, luckily or unluckily. "Your sister can come over. I have things to tell you." I sent her location, and she arrived shortly after. We spent time together. I gave her what I had bought for her. And while we chatted, I told her about Gabriel's behavior during our trip to Benin. Just learn to trust your husband. And I forgot to mention something else. After you left, your mother came back. Really? What did she do? Nothing. She visited and asked if I knew where you lived. I said no. She had apparently important things to say. She surely still cared about Gabriel, that she respected my happiness and marriage. I wouldn't let her meddle negatively again. I tried telling her to give you space to observe on your own. But really, the topic made me so uncomfortable I preferred talking about other things. By the end of the evening, my friend, my sister, My confidante went home. What I had forgotten was that I broke one of the house rules. I stayed at home waiting for you. I was tired of the tension at home. I planned to fix everything when she returned. While waiting, I thought of my mom. We hadn't spoken in ages. I didn't want to be the first to reach out. In her mind, she'd think she was right. Yet she truly was. Also, I had no real connection with the house staff. At times, I wondered if they had received strict orders from Gabriel, but also I found them gloomy, lost sometimes in their eyes, when our gazes met in hallways, the kitchen, or another room of the house. Once I caught the gardener in the courtyard, watering a flower I had never seen before. I approached him, and when I asked what this beautiful flower was, he jumped, didn't answer, and fled like someone who had seen the devil. He avoided me for a long time. That day, Gabriel's car entered the courtyard to park. From our bedroom window, I watched. Strange how he started talking to the gardener. At first, all seemed well, but then their voices began to rise. I saw nothing, but from his gestures, I imagined the exchange was now tough. Gabriel made violent movements, shouting at his employee, even pointing a finger to warn him. Suddenly, he looked my way. His face tight with anger, I stepped back in fear. He quickly came to find me, but entering, he seemed calm, much more calm. "Good evening, dear." "Evening, how are you?" "I'm fine, and you?" His gaze wandered around the room as if suspecting I hid a lover. "Everything's fine, and you?" "Gabriel, what's wrong?" "Bah, nothing. Did you receive someone here today?" "Oh, never mind. The gardener already told me everything." "Yeah, someone is too strong a word. It was just Jasmine. Just Jasmine. Didn't I tell you about unsolicited visits?" At that moment, I remembered the infamous rule, the forbidden one. Jasmine, it was only Jasmine and not an unknown. Jasmine, is she part of this family? You speak of Jasmine as if she were my daughter. I told you no matter who comes to this house while I'm away, you must tell me first. I'm sorry. He approached me like a predator who had tamed its prey. He kissed me on the cheek and whispered in my ear, "Don't ever do that again." In those words, I felt bitterness, silent rage, and a continuity. I had this feeling it wouldn't end there. And my instincts hadn't lied to me. 6 days later, I was home. I don't recall much of what I was doing when suddenly the phone rings. It's my old boss. I think she wants to check on me after all we've been through. She picks up, and I sense her anxiety right away. "Hello, Elise." "Yes, Auntie. How are you?" "I'm okay, and you?" "I'm well. Excuse me for disturbing you truly. I call because I don't know whom else to turn to. Tell Auntie what's wrong. I'm looking for your sister." "Jasmine, what?" "She isn't at the store. If I call, it's precisely because she isn't there. The thing is, the last time she was there, she called me the same night saying she didn't feel well, and since that day, no news. I keep calling but get no answer. I wasn't aware of anything. I'll also try to reach her from my side. If I have any updates, I'll let you know, Auntie. Thank you, my daughter. I hope the wedding goes well and you hold up." "It's going well, Auntie. Everything is fine. Thank you." "You're welcome. Goodbye then. Have a great day." "You too." Right away, I dialed Jasmine's number, but it keeps ringing. It rings so much that I lose heart. Knowing my friend, my sister, I start to be very worried. I call Gabriel and tell him I'm heading over to check on her. He says there's no problem, but asks me to wait before entering. I head out, arrive at Jasmine's place, and find the door locked. No one inside. Finally, I call Gabriel, who tells me to meet him at a spot. He comes to fetch me, and we return home together. "Did you find your buddy?" He asked these questions with a slight smile when I thought was mocking because I knew the answer. He said no, but sooner or later we'll know where she is. I replied, what is it? Do you think someone can disappear that easily? She will appear again. 2 days passed, still no news. Until this morning when I received a call from Jasmine's number. Except at the other end, it wasn't her. It was a man's voice, her little brother's. Jasmine. It's not Jasmine. Who is it? Where is Jasmine? It's her little brother. Then he regained his composure, took a deep breath, and delivered the bad news. I felt an electrical shock. An electric wave ran through my entire body, stopping at my heart. I almost collapsed. He tried to explain over the phone, but I wasn't listening anymore. I was elsewhere, in another world. Jasmine? No. For me, it was impossible. I don't know when he hung up the phone, but I was already out, heading to the living room where Gabriel was on his computer. Gabriel, what's happening? It's Jasmine. Jasmine is dead. I wanted to see him react, to be shocked. She meant something to both of them, even if their relationship wasn't close. They shared moments together, and he understood what she meant to me. He looked up, eyes wide. Silence. He couldn't believe it either, but Gabriel reacted as if I were telling him I was going to bed. Oh, well, sorry for her. It's everyone's path. I couldn't handle it. I lost it. Gabriel, I don't know what Jasmine did to you, but you're overreacting. Last time I told you she was wanted and you didn't show any sympathy. Today I'm telling you she's dead and you can't even be shocked. What did she do to you? Always because she came to the house. His face hardened. She was always causing trouble. You know how it is with her. She's unpredictable. Anger surged in me. Unpredictable? You think that justifies everything? She was your sister, Gabriel, and you act like nothing matters. Silence fell between us. His eyes burned with unshed tears. I never wanted this. I love her too. My chest tightened. Love her after everything. He shook his head. No, not like that, but she was more than just a bother. She was family. You want to ban people from visiting me? Am I then a prisoner? I talk about my sister, my best friend, the one who shared most of my life who has just passed away. And all you have to say is that it's everyone's path. He watched me speak, then asked when I finished. Would you like me to resurrect her? Are you God? Frankly. PFFF. I went to her room, I cried. I had never wept like that until that day. I couldn't believe it. Jasmine, my sister, what happened? I thought of our wild imaginings, our first meeting and her last visit. Her wise advice and zest for life. I wondered if my life would ever be the same without her. In our lives, there are those special people we can never replace. So lost in grief, I called Mommy Wada. When the phone rang and she answered, I began to cry. What's going on? She asked. It's Jasmine. Jasmine, what did she die of? Oh no, don't scare me. Jasmine died. My mother exclaimed in her language, but before she could ask more, I had no answers. The shock was palpable. Just thinking of her, hearing her voice echo in my mind as if she were right here, made my heart shatter, crumble. Several hours later, sleep dared not approach me. Gabriel entered the room. He found me sitting, took me in his arms. I'm sorry about earlier, Sherry, he whispered close to my ear. I didn't want you to perceive it that way. It's just that when I'm overwhelmed too, I react that way. I know who Jasmine was to you. I understand how much she meant to you. The words hung in the air, heavy with sorrow. A significant loss in your life, but know I'm here, Sherry. You can rely on me. His words were soothing, yet he tried to make it up. Each one had their place, and though Gabriel is my husband, he can never replace Jasmine. She had her place, a unique one. She deserves the funeral she will have. She was a wonderful girl after all. He kissed me and went to bed, while I only thought of my friend, my sister I lost. The next morning, more calm, I called her little brother. He answered, and when I asked how it should proceed, what they had planned, what he said, it broke me once again. His sister, they couldn't keep Jasmine's body. Jasmine was rotting, but in what sense? Like you hear, Jasmine decomposed in 2 days while alive. She rotted like spoiled food. Thousands of maggots came out of her body. I don't tell you about the smell she gave off. Wait, what are you talking about? What could have happened? Just tell me where you are and I'll come. Before Jasmine collapsed from exhaustion after work, she still had the strength to call her brother who came to fetch her for the village. They left together, and that's how she won't return. He told me the village I knew too. I informed Mommy Wada and we planned our descent together. I spoke to Gabriel, who saw no problem with it. In fact, he decided to join us. The next day, we set out on the road, taking Mommy Wada with us, heading to Jasmine's village where eerie revelations awaited, sprung straight from the ordinary. At the site of mourning, we found a devastated family, grief-stricken by their sister's sudden departure. The wound was raw. It took much effort for them to speak to us. Elise, her little brother, knowing me, approached and led us to the rest of the family. The parents' sad faces hadn't yet accepted their daughter's departure. A cold calm filled the house, indescribable. She introduced us gently. "Mom, Dad, this is Elise, Jasmine's friend." Jasmine often spoke of me to her parents, but I'd never met them, and I never imagined the day would come under such sad circumstances. "My daughter, welcome. Welcome to all." They offered us chairs. After our condolences once more, they began to tell us what had happened. When Jasmine called her brother here present, we thought it was just a minor issue. But when she entered the house, she was unrecognizable. I almost said to her brother, "You've mistaken people." She looked like she had been burned, literally blackened. Emaciated, dry, skin stretched over bones. This was troubling, hard to believe. Just a week ago, Jasmine and I talked. How could it have progressed so fast? I wondered. Her mother continued. She said they thought she had been sick for a long time, hidden from them. Deciding to treat her, they sought 4 doctors in a few days. None found an origin for this illness, but Jasmine suffered, slowly fading away. Things worsened when she stopped speaking. The only time she spoke was at midnight. She said a man followed her to kill her, begging us to save her. Sometimes she claimed he came to her room to catch her. Her eyes wide open, she cried out, "Mother, he's there. He's coming. Mother, make him go. Tomorrow he'll leave. I don't want to leave with him. I don't want to leave with him." She collapsed in tears before continuing. And after this scene, she sighed like a candle being extinguished, and thus she fell asleep. When she finally fell silent completely, it marked the last phase. Worms emerged from her sex. Some pierced her skin to escape. Eyes, nose, everywhere, Jasmine began to rot before our very eyes. Despite all we did, she started emitting a nauseating